The Land is Hospitable and So Are We is Mitski's 7th album. We're going to take a look at that today. And according to her, that is her most American sounding album. So as part of the big question, we're going to ask whether Americana has had a positive or negative impact on indie music in recent times. Hello to you, Al. Take us through what you thought of this album.
Good morning, mate. Yeah, look, I found this album quite interesting, actually. There's a few tracks in particular that I really enjoyed, and it was probably about the second or third listen that I probably got the most out of this, those particular tracks and the album. For me, it's kind of that Americana sound, which we'll talk about a little bit later. It's becoming a little bit flooded, but it's almost classical music, balladry meets really intellectual kind of lyrics, and a voice that is absolutely second to none, up there with Lana Del Rey. A few tracks that I really enjoyed, mate, were I Don't Like My Mind, the second track off the album, Buffalo Repeated, the opening track, of course, Bug Like an Angel, and Heaven, which is one of the singles that she's released. She's got huge amounts of views, mate, and listens, and there's a reason why. It's a really good album, mate. I'm going to actually give this 4 stars, bumping it up from 3.5. I'm interested on your take, but I'm also interested in, is this an album that you're going to regularly play again? Will you buy the vinyl, or will it just be 1 or 2 tracks that might add to your 2023 playlist? Go for it, mate. What are your thoughts?
Look, I'm giving this 3 3/4 stars. Look, and I think the answer is no. Look, I think that I like this album. I like this album. It's not bad.
So what do you like about it? What's good?
Well, I like the, she's got some Bug Like an Angel, for instance. I think I like the, the gospel sounding style. It's got a bit of like a Pet Sound sort of influence in the music. So there's a couple of levels to it. The other song, When Memories Snow, there's sort of spaghetti westerns, Scott Walker type of. Well, we've listened to a bit of Scott Walker in recent times, haven't we? So I mean there's good stuff, but I mean I think I'll put it back to you. I mean, what makes this different? What makes this compelling compared to a Lana Del Rey, a Father John Misty? I mean, there's tons of these artists at the moment that are coming up with these particular tunes. They're all world weary.
Yeah.
It just seems to me same, and it seems to me that as a genre, it doesn't feel indie anymore. It just feels,
Look, I'm interested in the, mate. Is the market flooded? Yes. You talk about world weariness. I mean, look at the fact that we've come through 2 to 3 years of that kind of COVID period, and that did affect the music industry and, of course, artists, and it has influenced people's writing and styles. We also live in a world of YouTube Shorts and TikTok, so people's attention spans to listen to a 40-minute album. And I know you personally struggle with that, mate. Anything more than 40 minutes, but we do live in this world. So to sit down and listen to a full album in a market that has lots of similar kind of sounding sounds is a bit of a struggle. So for me, there'll be a few tracks that make my 2023 list that I mentioned before, but this is probably not one that I'll purchase on vinyl or probably have on high rotation. But you've got artists, say 20 years ago, like Father John Misty, that were releasing these indie kind of Americana albums that were just absolutely brilliant. Ryan Adams, similar. But now, in 2023, I think there's just so many artists now that are pushing into this range that I ask, is indie still indie anymore, mate? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Look, I just think it seems to have plateaued. So I think it was interesting there, and it was interesting when Father John Misty came out.
Yeah,
and that was interesting on the top of what maybe Ryan Adams were coming out with. So it was almost like we were waiting for this country tinged explosion after the alternative explosion of the early 90s and all of that type of thing. And you started to get artists that were bringing back more classical influences back into the indie genre, which is sort of what Father John Misty was doing. So it feels like there was some of these early 70s types of sounds that you were hearing back in these indie rock tracks, but he seems to be the go-to person, or like he seems to be on everyone's tracks these days. I can say the same with Kevin Morby as well, probably less popular than a Father John Misty, but it's almost as if what they're singing about, I mean the way in which they're singing, it's gotten to a point where there's kind of nothing new they're saying.
But do you think that that's just? Do you think that that's just where we are in terms of the fact we are in 2023? Music's been around for many, many years. It was always going to get to a point. And again, I kind of throw in the AI kind of mix in here. Mate, will that have an influence on changing things up and maybe changing the direction of the way that artists are creating lyrics, creating different vibes on albums? We've had Wet Leg kind of disrupt the industry a little bit, mate. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I think that rock music is just getting safer and safer by the year. I mean, you can't sing about the things that you used to be able to sing about and get away with, which, I mean, some of the lyrics and stuff that was sung about 40 years ago, you would definitely not touch that. I absolutely not. But I think it's, it just doesn't seem to be the sex, drugs and rock and roll sort of vibe that you used to get from rock music. You're getting less and less of that. Look, maybe some people say that that's a good thing. It just doesn't. Albums like this, like you say, it's safe and it's good, but it's getting less and less exciting. And it was probably refreshing and exciting 10 years ago, but after hearing a number of these albums, we've listened to a lot of these albums this year. I don't know.
I agree, and there's no real, we live in such an interesting times with all the stuff that's going on in the world in terms of climate change, political kind of uncertainty, yet I don't think that's really referenced in artists' lyrics or music as much anymore, and I think there's real potential for that without, doing it too much, but I kind of miss that a bit. I miss that kind of late 90s, early 2000s kind of controversial sounds in music.
Maybe we're just getting old. That's our problem.
Maybe you are. Maybe you are.
We're getting old and we're rebelling against safe music as we're getting older, which you wouldn't think would be the case. We're wanting the stuff on the edge as we're getting older. So I don't know. Say what you want about that. So that's a very interesting discussion. Let us know what you think in the comments. Are we really underrating this particular album? Are we underrating this genre? Have we got the incorrect read about things? So that is our review of The Land is Hospitable and So Are We by Mitski. That wraps up another episode of Indie Miners. Please look to subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, and let us know if there's an album you would like us to look at. So until next time, bye for now, and thank you for watching.